Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Kodash. Double honors and respect to the elders and to the apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessing to all Akim that are preaching and teaching His word with 100% truth and sincerity. And to the men, women, and children that are listening and learning. And unto the Bayath, the Dabadah, the elect house of David that are scattered abroad, I give you my utmost and sincere salutations. So as you can see here on the screen, this lesson is going to be on the said subject matter about arranged marriages. And in the ancient world, you had arranged marriages amongst our people as well as amongst the other heathen nations. Okay? And we're going to read a little bit about this article, and then we're going to get a few scripts, Lord willing, to be edifying to the body and to the sincere believers and listeners. This is not intended to be a long lesson, but I'll try to keep it brief, but edifying as much as possible. So, as it says here about arranged marriages, okay, it says, let me pull it back up. Okay, so, just a little bit so we can see the screen. There. Let's show you a little better. So I can give you a second here to fix this. There we go. Alright. So going into it, it says here, arranged marriage is a type of marital union where the bride and groom are primarily selected by individuals other than the couple themselves, particularly by family members such as the parents. In some cultures, a professional matchmaker may be used to find a spouse for a young person. Alright, so a matchmaker is the process of making two or more people together. Matching two or more people together, usually for the purpose of marriage, in which the case matchmaker is also known as the marriage broker. The word is also used in the context of sporting events such as boxing and business and online video games and but it says here, arranged marriages have historically been prominent in many cultures. The practice remains common in many regions, notably the Caucasus, Central Asia, North Africa, South Asia, Southeast Asia, Sub-Saharan Africa, and West Asia. In many other parts of the world, the practice has declined substantially during the 19th and 20th centuries. Forced marriages, practiced in some families, are condemned by the United Nations. The specific subcategory of forced child marriage is especially condemned. In other cultures, people mostly choose their own partner. Well, in one of those cultures where you get to choose your own partner, well, especially for the woman choosing who she wants to be with, that's mainly predominant here in America. Now to go into the history. Okay, arranged marriages were very common throughout the world until the 18th century. Typically, marriages were arranged by parents, grandparents, or other close relatives and trusted friends. Some historical exceptions are known, such as courtship and betrothal rites during the Renaissance period of Italy, and Gandharva Viva in the Vedic period of in the Indian subcontinent. Okay, and it says here, marriage in the Greco-Roman antiquity was based on social responsibility. Marriages were usually arranged by the parents. On occasion, professional matchmakers were used. For the marriage to be legal, the woman's father, so pay attention, for the marriage to be legal, the woman's father or guardian had to give permission to a suitable man who could afford to marry. Orphan daughters usually married to cousins. The couple participated in a ceremony which included rituals such as removal of the veil. A man was typically limited to only one wife, though he could have as many mistresses as he could afford. So that right there tells you, in the ancient world, men could have more than one woman, and it's usually the father that gets to pick his daughter's spouse for her. Okay? You women didn't have the right to choose. You may have the right to choose now because of of this society's laws, but back then you didn't have the right to choose. Your father would choose for you. Okay? So I just want to get that point there. Okay, so let's see here. Like I said, this wasn't meant to be long, but you can read more articles here about, like I said, you got more, like I said, these are real world examples when it comes to marriage, like wealth and inheritance issues, dowries in India, bride wealth, religion, so on and so forth. But but the fact of the matter is, according to the Bible, your father is the one that chooses who you get to marry, not you. Okay? So we're gonna go ahead and get into it. And these are the marriages. These are the categories, the four groups that I'll just read here real quick. Forced arranged marriage. Parents or guardians select. The individuals are neither consulted nor have any say before the marriage. Consensual arranged marriage. Parents or guardians select. Then the individuals are consulted, who consider and consent, and each individual has the power to refuse. Sometimes the individuals meet in a family setting or privately before engagement in marriage, as in Shittic custom or among Orthodox Jews. So it's a system of matchmaking in which Jewish singles are introduced to one another in Orthodox Jewish communities for the purpose of marriage. Self-selected marriage. Individuals select. The parents or guardians are consulted, who consider and consent, and where parents or guardians have the power to veto. And veto just simply means it is a legal power to unilaterally stop an official action. In the most typical case, a president or monarch vetoes a bill to stop it from becoming a law. In many countries, veto powers are established in the country's constitution. Okay, so, and then you have autonomous marriage. Individuals select. The parents or guardians are neither consulted nor have any say before the marriage. And that's the majority marriage right here, autonomous marriage. That's the majority here. Well, that's pretty much the norm here in America, but we all know how that works out. So yeah, these are, like I said, there's a lot of examples here, but I'm not going to read through all of this. But okay. So we're going to go ahead and get into the book of Exodus. This is going to be the book of Exodus, chapter 21, starting at verse 7. And it says, And if a man sell his daughter to be a maidservant, she shall not go out as the manservants do. Verse 8, If she please not her master, who hath betrothed her to himself, so betrothed meaning, engaged, marriage, then shall he let her be redeemed. To sell her unto a strange nation, he shall have no power, seeing he hath dealt deceitfully with her. Okay, so if you're a man and you have a woman, and if you're not satisfied with her, you have to let her be redeemed unto her father. Okay, you cannot sell her off to another man, or especially to especially to a stranger, a heathen man. So, verse 9. And if he have betrothed her unto his son, he shall deal with her after the manner of daughters. So, if a man gives you, one of his daughters, and you betroth her unto your son, ye shall deal with her as if she was your own daughter. Right? If he take him another wife, verse 10, if he take him another wife, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage shall not diminish. So, if you take on another wife, a second wife or concubine, you are to treat her. Especially for our people in Israel, you're to treat her with the same fairness and equality as you do your first wife. Okay. In verse 11 says, and if he do not those three unto her, then shall she go out free without money. So, if you're not treating one of your wives the same as you would treat the other or others, she's not getting the same equal treatment, then she shall go. She has the right to leave without payment. Okay. And also we're going to get the book of let's see. This is excuse me. Okay, so Deuteronomy 24:1. When a man hath taken a wife and married her, and it came to pass that she find no favor in his eyes, because he hath found some uncleanness in her. Found something that is displeasing unto him, that gives him a reason to be jealous or suspicious. Then let him write her a bill of divorcement, and give it in her hand, and send her out of his house. So, and we all know how the divorce process works here in America. Okay, so it's more they put the women over the man. So in this divorce system, if you're married, the woman gets half your shit, and basically, you're basically the one that she sends away. And if there's any kids involved, of course, he's got to be the one to pay child support. So this system here in America is all about empowering the woman and bringing down the man. Okay. Verse 2, it says, and when she is departed out of his house, she may go and be another man's wife. And if the latter husband hate her, and write her a bill of divorcement, and giveth it into her hand, and sendeth her out of his house, or if the latter husband die, which took her to be his wife, her former husband, which sent her away, may not take her again to be his wife. After that she is defiled, for that is an abomination before the Lord. And thou shalt not cause the land to sin, which the Lord thy power giveth thee for an inheritance. So, these women, you women are not meant to be, tossed around. Okay, once you have a husband, that is your man. That is your husband for the rest of your life. Okay? You women are not meant to go from one rod to the next in the cock carousel. Okay? That's disgusting. It's basically shame. You're basically shaming yourselves by doing that. Really, you are. Okay. Now, okay, now let's see here. All right, and this one here, let me see. This is going to be Genesis. No. This is going to be Deuteronomy chapter 25, verse 5. I just want to get this real quick here. Because this, I do believe that this is an important point here to make. This is Deuteronomy chapter 25, starting at verse 5, and it says, "If brethren dwell together, and one of them die, and have no child, the wife of the dead shall not marry without unto a stranger. Her husband's brother shall go in unto her, and take her to him to wife, and perform the duty of an husband's brother unto her." So, for example, if you have two men that are brothers that live together in the same household, and one of those brothers is married, has a wife, and if something happens to him and passes away, it would be that man's brother would have to take his spot. Okay. And it says here, verse 6, "And it shall be that the firstborn which he beareth shall succeed in the name of his brother which is dead, that his name be not put out of Israel." Verse 7, "And if the man like not to take his brother's wife, then let his brother's wife go up to the gate unto the elders, and say, My husband's brother refuses to raise up unto his brother a name in Israel. He will not perform the duty of my husband's brother. Then the elders of his city shall call him to speak unto him, and if he stand to it and say, I like not to take her, then shall his brother's wife come unto him in the presence of the elders, and loose his shoe from off his foot, and spit in his face, and shall answer and say, So shall it be done unto that man that will not build up his brother's house. And his name shall be called in Israel the house of him that hath the shoe loosed." So basically, he will be shamed if he does not, step up and take on the mantle of his brother. So that's another thing too when it comes to marriages, and this is part of the law. Okay, this is something that this is going to be something that's going to be enforced in the kingdom. Okay, when these other nations are learning, are under us, when we're back in power, these are the laws that they're going to have to follow. Okay. Now we're going to go to the book of Titus. It's going to be the book of Titus. It's going to be chapter 2. Let's see if I can get there real quick here. Titus. The book of Titus, chapter 2. Titus chapter 2, and I'm going to start I'll start from the top. Titus chapter 2, verse 1 says, "But speak thou the things which become sound doctrine." Verse 2, "That the aged men be sober, grave, temperate, sound in faith, in charity, in patience." Verse 3, "The aged woman likewise, that they be in behavior as becometh holiness, not false accusers, not given to much wine, teachers of good things." Verse 4, "That they may teach the young women to be sober, to love their husbands, to love their children, to be discreet, chaste, keepers at home, good, obedient to their own husbands, that the word of the Most High be not blasphemed. Okay? So while, growing up, being groomed to be a woman, you are taught these things. So that way, when the time comes for, when your father has found a suitable groom for you, these are the things that are to be expected of you: to be obedient, submit yourself unto your husband, to be a keeper at home, taking care of the house, cook, clean, make sure everything's in order. And if so, you bear that man's seed, you bear him children, you raise the kids, you discipline them. Okay? So, like I said, and of course, people, especially here in America, where everybody, especially when you have this freedom and liberty to get abroad and make your own decisions, that's going off, because you women, you're very bad at picking your partners. You really are. You women have no type of accountability, no type of discipline about you to stick with one person. And even if you get tired of seeing that person, but you still stick out with them, that's called commitment. That's called discipline. And that's something that a lot of you women, especially the Israelite women, you lack. Okay? And it says here in the book of Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 22. And it says, "Wives, submit yourselves unto your husbands as unto the Lord." Verse 23, "For the husband is the head of the wife," meaning that he has rule over you. He's your superior. He is the one you answer to. Even as Hamashiach is the head of the church, which is the church is the brotherhood, the body. Okay? The men answer to him. Okay? And he is the savior of the body. Okay? So, and it says here, verse 24, it says, "Therefore, as the church is subject to Hamashiach, so let the wives be to their own husbands in everything." Everything. Okay? Your husband is your Lord. He's your king. He is your he's your protection. He's your provider. Okay? You go to your husband. All right? Okay? So and let's see, we're going to go to the book of Sirach. This is going to be the book of Sirach. It's going to be chapter 25. Sirach 25 and, let's see, 25 and where was it? No, I don't think it was this one right here. There we go. Sirach 25 and 25. "Give the water no passage, neither a wicked woman liberty to gad abroad." Okay? So, these women, here in America, they do whatever the hell they want. Okay? They have no type of, the society has teach them that. It's given them that idea of feminism. And feminism has poisoned their mind beyond beyond repair. And they have no sense of direction on they have no sense of direction on what the role of a woman is. None. In verse 26, if she go not as thou wouldest have her, cut her off from thy flesh and give her a bill of divorce and let her go. So if she's not going to be in subjection to you, if she's just going to cause you a headache, grief, and ultimately a broken heart, stress, amongst other things, just get rid of her. Okay? A prideful woman is a useless commodity, but a humble woman is a useful commodity. If she's not willing to get in order and follow your lead and take direction from you, guess what? Don't waste your time. And like I said, this is on arranged marriages. And, in some of the cultures, and even here in China, it says arranged marriages, Baban Hunyan, sometimes called blind marriages, were the norm before the mid-20th century. A marriage was a negotiation, a decision between parents and other older members of two families. The boy and the girl were typically told to get married without a right to demur, even if they had never met each other until the wedding day. Arranged marriages were the norm in Russia before the early 20th century, most of which were endogamous, which means the cultural practice of mating within a specific social group, religious denomination, caste, or ethnic group. Rejecting any from outside of the group or belief structure is as unsuitable for marriage or other close personal relationships. So, until the first half of the 20th century, arranged marriages were common in migrant families in the United States. They were sometimes called picture bride marriages among Japanese American immigrants because the bride and groom knew each other only through the exchange of photographs before the day of their marriage. These marriages among immigrants were typically arranged by parents or close relatives from the country of their origin. As immigrants settled in and melded into a new culture, the arranged marriages shifted first to quasi-arranged marriages where parents or friends made introductions and the couple met before the marriage. Over time, the marriages among the descendants of these immigrants shifted to autonomous marriages driven by individuals' choice, dating and courtship preferences, and an increase in marrying outside their own ethnic group. Similar historical dynamics are claimed in other different parts of the world. So arranged marriages have declined in countries where forced marriages were politically outlawed, like the Imperial Russia or Japan, or in prosperous countries with more social mobility and increasing individualism. Nevertheless, arranged marriages might still be seen in countries of Europe and North America, among royal families, aristocrats, and minority religious groups such as a placement marriage among fundamentalist Mormon groups or in the United States. In most other parts of the world, arranged marriages in most other parts of the world, arranged marriages continue to vary in degrees, and increasingly in quasi-arranged form along with autonomous marriages. So like I said, this is, you can read more about this on your own time. So, let's see here. Oh, here we go. In some communities, especially in rural parts of the Middle East, North Africa, South Asia, a woman who refuses to go through with an arranged marriage, tries to leave an arranged marriage via divorce, or is suspected of any kind of immoral behavior, may be considered to have dishonored her entire family. Male relatives may be ridiculed or harassed, and any of the woman's siblings may find it impossible to enter into marriage. In these cases, killing the woman is a way for the family to enforce the institution of an arranged marriage. Unlike cases of domestic violence, honor killings are often done publicly, and there are frequently family members involved in the act. Wow. But here's one scripture I wanted to get here. so that way you can understand. This is going to be Romans chapter 7, verse 2. It says, "For a woman which hath an husband is bound by the law to her husband, so long as he liveth. But if the husband be dead, she is loosed from the law of the husband." And it says here, verse 3, "So then, if while her husband liveth, she be married to another man, she shall be called an adulteress. But if her husband be dead, she is free from that law, so that she is no adulteress, though she be married to another man." So, in other words, if you're married to if you have a husband, and if something happens to him, he passes away, you're free from being under that man's authority, and you have the right to. Let me go to another script in 1 Corinthians. That would be chapter 7, verse 39. Yeah. 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verse 39. It basically says the same thing, but just worded a little differently. It says, "The wife is bound by the law as long as her husband liveth. But if her husband be dead, she is at liberty to be married to whom she will, only in the Lord." Okay? So, if your husband passes away and you become single again, you have the right to remain celibate, or two, you can, let me rewind. If your husband be dead and he passes on, you have the right to remarry whom so you choose. Okay? And like I said, as long as your husband's alive and you be married unto another man, you're an adulteress. And one more script to finish it off. Matthew 5. Matthew chapter 5, verse 31. Matthew 5 and 31, "It hath been said, whosoever shall put away his wife, let him give her a writing of divorcement." Verse 32, "But I say unto you, that whosoever shall put away his wife, saving for the cause of fornication, causeth her to commit adultery, and whosoever shall marry her that is divorced, committeth adultery." So, you can't just put away your wife for that sole purpose of committing sexual immorality. Okay? Just because, like for example, how people, especially in these modern day marriages, if they're not getting along and all of a sudden they want to kind of separate themselves from each other, like saying it's a complicated relationship, or like if you're still married but you two kind of need space from each other, that's what it's talking about. You can't be doing that. Even though she's not, even though they're separated, but guess what? They're still married. They haven't been written a bill of divorce. They're just separated, or their relationship is, as they say, complicated. That woman is still bound by that man. So the best thing to do is to leave her alone. So, I didn't mean for this lesson to be too long. I tried not to make it too long, but these arranged marriages are coming back, and whether you women like it or not, believe it or not, accept it or not, whatever the case, this is whoever your husband chooses for you, that's going to be your man. Whether he's attractive, funny, smart, has a lot of money, looks good, or he could be just the average looking guy that you don't really find anything interesting about. And guess what? If your husband chose him, apparently your father, if your father chose him, then apparently your father sees something in him that's more important than just being flashy. Okay? So, you know, like I said, you could read more of this on your own time, but Lord willing, that it was edifying to the body and to the sincere believers and listeners. Okay? So, while you know you women may have the ability of autonomous marriage, but that's Yahweh by Shema Shai is going to put a stop to that. And with that, you know, I'd like to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, or Chak Double honors and respect to the elders and to the apostles of Great Millstone. Peace and blessing to all Akim that are preaching and teaching His word with 100% truth and sincerity. And unto the men, women, and children that are listening and learning. And unto the Ba'ath Adawadah, the elect house of David that are scattered abroad. I give you my utmost and sincere salutations. See you in the next lesson, Lord willing. In fact, Salaki, I just have one more script to get. It just came to me. So, this is the book of Genesis, chapter 2, verse 24. It says, therefore, shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. Okay? One flesh. You know, through the act of sex. Okay? Because according to the Bible, sex is what consummates marriage. And with that, I say Shalom, Wa Abba Babal. Lord willing, see you in the next lesson. Shalom.